Are the Steelers a Super Bowl threat?
Still a nation. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers are probably the most dangerous team in the AFC right now. One, because offensively, they have guys that's been there to the Super Bowl. You look at Ben, Antonio Brown played in the Super Bowl back in 2011. Everybody knows what he's capable of doing. Arguably the best wide receiver in all of football. And then you have Le'Veon Bell. I turned my phone on yesterday when I got off the plane and I looked at this guy's numbers and I said, what happened? You know, in those kind of elements for a guy to go out there and rush for almost 300 yards, he missed the first 3 games of the season. And I'm saying to myself, if he keeps having the season that he's having, at the end of the year, you're going to have to put him in the MVP conversation. I believe that he's going out and performing that well. Defensively, they're young, but they have some guys who are coming of age. Artie Barnes is playing really well. Everybody knows about Shazier, some of those young guys. But I just think that the Pittsburgh Steelers, they've been there before. They're not going to say a lot. They're just going to keep going about their business methodically. And somebody's going to look up a few weeks from now and be playing the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC Championship. And you don't want to play those guys in that position.
Are you saying that because that was your original team?
No, I'm not saying that. I know the mentality of Mike Tomlin, Ben Roethlisberger, that organization and that team, like what's expected of them. This is December football in Pittsburgh. The next 2 games will tell a lot about them. They play at Cincinnati, which will be arguably for first place, and they play the Baltimore Ravens at home on Christmas. If they beat Cincinnati and Baltimore, you got to look out for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs.
I don't think they're a real threat yet, Skip. And I still have questions about their defense. I still don't think their back end is good enough. We know what they are offensively. Big Ben is the real deal. Antonio Brown, I agree with you. He's one of the best. I say he's the top 2. I would take Julio Jones, but that's just me. But you couldn't go wrong. Le'Veon Bell is the best all-around back in football. There's nothing he can't do. He's so patient of a runner. And in conditions like that, they're ideal for him because he's so patient and he's never out over his feet, so he's never slipping. If you remember a couple of years ago when LaShawn McCoy had a 215, 220-yard day in the snow against the Lions in Philly because he has that same type of elusiveness, but Le'Veon Bell's a lot more patient than he is. The thing that scares me is that Ben turned the ball over 3 times yesterday. And playing against a better offense, you turn the ball over 3 times in the playoffs, you're going home. And now, if Le'Veon Bell's going to be able to run the football 38 times for 238 yards, but that just goes to show you that he was still able to get those kind of carries even though Ben turned the ball over 3 times. So that just goes to show you that the offense on the opposing team was inept because they couldn't do anything. Because for a back to get 38 carries in today's game, man, that's a lot of carries. And when Rex Ryan is the defensive coordinator, he's supposed to be able to get you off the field and not allow back to have that many cracks.